Hello, fellow Sudokans, and welcome to Zen and the Art of the Guardian Sudoku puzzle for Friday, the 21st of January 2021. It's Friday already. Oh, life is zipping past very quickly, isn't it? It's time for our hard level game from the Guardian Sudoku. We'll get onto that in just a second. Before I mention something positive in the news, 19-year-old Zara Rutherford has been the youngest woman to fly around the world solo. And she traveled 52,000 kilometers across 31 countries. She's described as British Belgium. I'm not sure if that means she has an EU passport now that we're in the days of Brexit. I'm not really sure what that means. But anyway, first woman to fly around the world in a microlight as well. So congratulations to her, and it's a great and difficult achievement, and something for younger girls to look up to. I hope it will be nice to see more women in technical jobs or jobs that are traditionally male dominated, such as pilots. Did you know I looked it up. Around 5 or 6% of pilots are women globally. 5 or 6%, that's a tiny proportion, isn't it? And there's no reason why it should be so small. I mean, the women provide every quality needed to fly a plane. Actually, the one place where they're doing rather better is in India, and we have a lot of viewers in India. 12.4%, so slightly better in India, but still a long way off of true representation of half. It's very important for women to get involved in technical jobs or technology jobs and things like that. Actually, here in Thailand, I know a lot of computer programmers that are women as well, and they are very good at their jobs, and actually quite a high proportion, much higher than in the West. When you go into tech companies in Thailand, you see a lot of women working there as programmers and testers and stuff like that, and so we're quite good on that particular aspect here in Thailand. Right. Anyway, so if you're a woman or a girl still growing up and wondering what to do, look to science and technology. It will be a great future for you. Okay, let's get on with today's game of Sudoku. How do we play the game? Well, we have a grid containing nine squares across in a row, in each row I should say, and 9 squares in each column down, and then 9 squares in each of these outline boxes, and all we do is fit the numbers in where they can go. And where they can go, the operative word there being can. So for example, this 8 is already in this row, meaning it cannot reappear in this row, so no other square in this row can contain the digit 8. So let's examine this particular block here. Remember, unique numbers 1 to 9 in each block. So 8 stops these 3 squares from being an 8, and this 8 down here doesn't allow for any other 8s in this column, right? So if we have 8s disallowed from these 3 squares, and this 8 disallowing 8s being placed in these 3 squares, we have only one cell left. So the 8 must be incarcerated into that square there. It can't go anywhere else, even if it wants to. Right, okay, so that's how we play the game. Got it? Good. Now let's get on then and see what else we can find by looking around the board. I usually just have a random search around numbers, kind of. If you see a lot of numbers, a number that is quite commonly placed on the board, it tends to often hit you in the face, just without really focusing. So 8 blocks across this row here and 8 blocks across this row here. So we can certainly place an 8 in that square there. This is supposed to be a hard level game for newcomers to the channel or newcomers to the Guardian Sudoku. I will tell you that sometimes it's hard, sometimes less so. We can't guarantee what's on the label on the tin is what the product described within. We can't guarantee that the product matches the label on the tin. That's what I'm trying to say in a very awkward way. Shall I tell you what I've discovered? I haven't discovered the next digit, but I have seen something that might be important. There's 4 and 5 blocks across here like this. So we know that 4 and 5 are in these two squares here. Now for the moment that doesn't do a great deal because the 5 can go anywhere up there and the 4s, we don't know anything about them up there. But it might be useful later. And it also will mean that we can decide what 3 numbers are in here, knowing that this is a 4 or a 5 because 4 or 5 blocks these 3 squares here. So if we've got 4 and 5, it means we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 already, and an 8. So the missing numbers must be 6, 7, and 9. So we know that 6, 7, and 9 are in these 3 squares here. Now, is that going to give us something else? Well, we've got a blocking 7 here, we've got a blocking 6 here, and 9 we don't know anything about. But then sometimes if we look in this direction, it can help, 6, 7, and 9. So the 9 will be down here. And that wasn't particularly helpful. The 6, well, 6 will be here. 7 does block down there, so 7 is in one of these 2 squares. Okay, so not that useful then. But let's have a look and examine these 3 empty squares and see if we can decide what's in here, knowing that this is 6, 7, and 9. So in these 3 squares we need 1, 3, 1, 3, and 2. Excuse me, 1, 3, and 2. Now we have a 1 and a 3 in this column already. So these 3 squares must contain 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Now we have a 1 and a 3 blocking down here. So this cannot be 1, can't be 3, and so therefore it has to be 2. Right, okay, what else do we need? If you are new to the channel, you should know that I don't play these games ahead of time at all. Before switching on the camera, don't even look at the grid. It comes out the printer, I stick it down, turn on the camera and start going. This is my first attempt at it. So it might be a reasonable game. On the other hand, it could be quite shoddily played. There's no guarantee. But since you're watching the video, it means that it did come to a successful completion, because I promise you that I will give you an answer to this game, a solution that you can use just in case you are stuck. Don't know how to finish it. Right. Okay. Warnings, legal disclaimers over. I should get on. Come on, what am I doing here? I'm not doing very well here, I think. So my random focus, the thing that I just mentioned that I usually do, which is just to look at numbers in a kind of random way, can only get me so far, and then it's worth my time exploring numbers. And so I'm just going to go through one at a time. So let's see what's happening with the ones. I can see ones are here. Ones are in those squares up there. Oh, got you now. Okay. No, haven't got you now. Okay. in this row, but not enough information. Okay, nothing much really happening there. 2 now, 2 blocks down here, 2 blocks up here. So now we can say a 2 is there. I don't know why that 2 didn't jump up and hit me in the face. It was obviously lacking energy. It is very early in the morning here, so I allow it. There's 3 now blocks up here, and now there's only 1 space for the 3 to go. Okay. Now 3 blocks up here, 3 blocks up here, 3 blocks across there, so that's a 3 we can place there. I think if we look here, this might be useful. We got 1, 2, 3. We are licking. I was going to say we are licking. Lick it if you like. I'm not sure we should lick numbers. I'm not sure they're very delicious. 4, 8, and 9 here. Can't place them, but we do know 4, 8, or 9. Now, is that going to be of benefit here? Remembering that this is 4, 5 here. And this was 4 or 5. This was 6, 7, 9, wasn't it? Okay, so we've got the 9 here. No, actually, it's not quite enough yet, is it? Okay, gotcha. Right, now they're 4 and 5 block across here, so 4 and 5 are in these 2 squares. Do you agree? Thank you. Right, now if these 2 squares contain 4 and 5, we can examine the other 2 squares and see what's missing from there. Well, certainly one number we don't have in this column is a 9, and this 9 blocks this square, so we know that 9 must be placed in that position there. And the other number, this is 4 or 5, so the other number that we need for this column is the 7. So we can put that in. Now we've got that 7 blocks across here, 7 blocks across here. So 7 fits into that square there. If we examine this bottom row, we can see that 7 blocks this square here, 7 blocks this square here, and so 7 must be in that square there. The 9 blocks up this column, and the 9 blocks up this column, and 9 blocks across here, so we can place a 9 in that block, in that square there, I should say, and 9 blocking across this row and across this row. And remember, we have a 9 that we have to fill into this column here, so that's going to block this square here, so then the 9 must appear there like so. 7 blocks down here, 7 blocks down here, so that's a 7 we can place there. There's only one number. Remember, this is 4 and 5, so this has got to be a 6, hasn't it? 1 digit to complete this column. It is in fact a 4. Factor 4 sounds like a suntan cream. 4 blocks across here like this, and 4 will be down there. A very gentle suntan cream that will allow you to burn and fry, probably. 4 stops this square from being 4. We need a 4 for this bottom row, so 4 goes here. The last digit for this row is a 5. This is a 5, of course, since we had our 4, 5 there, which we can now not worry about any longer. It's been on our minds, hasn't it, the whole time. Right, great. What's missing up here? 2 and 5. Okay, we've got an intersecting 2, so the 2 goes here, and the 5 is the last number we need for that block. There are 2 digits missing here. They look to be 1 and 5. Any help on 1 or 5? No, but that's the game of Sudoku. We often look, don't always find. Missing digits in these 2 squares are 1 and 3, and again we can't tell which is which, so we won't bother. We'll just come back and examine it later, them I should say, later. Right, where to now, as the taxi driver says. 3. Excuse me while I talk to myself for a moment. I have a feeling I'm missing something easy again. That uneasy feeling that you are missing something easy. Does that make sense? And you have an uneasy feeling that you are missing something easy. Strange thing. Right, I've slowed down considerably, having got to a tougher point, I guess. There, no. Thought I'd seen something, but had not, in fact. Right, where should I be looking? This is the point. This is always the key about Sudoku, or the thing that's the kind of element of chance that's involved is if you happen to look in the right place quickly enough, you will find the game to be a breeze. If it takes you a long time to find the next step forward, sometimes it's quite frustrating and can take a long time to finish. I just examine these 4 blocks across here. There we go, 4 across here and 4 up here and 4 across there. So in fact, 4 must be in that square there. Now we have 2 digits missing, 5 and 6. A lot of 5s and 6 missing everywhere, but fortunately this time we've got an intersecting 6. So we can put our 6 there, our 5 here, and now we know that 5 must be in this square as well because that 5 blocks across there. Now we just need a 1 to finish that block, and now 1 blocks across here, so 1 fits neatly and snugly into that square there. Oh, I've seen this, I've been looking at this 7 for ages, blocking down here, because it's a kind of typical Sudoku thing to see. If you know what I mean, if you've played the game before, you know what I mean. When it blocks down, you're limiting it to like 2 squares here. Now the 1 joins it, so we now know that 7 and 1 are in these squares. Now that we know that's a 1, we can see our 1, kind of this pattern up here like this, and 1 must fit there, or just say 1 blocks this square if you like. Now we only need 1 digit to finish this row. It turns out to be a 3, so let's put it in. And I think now, can we, okay, we've got 6 in those squares, 3 here and 4 there. No, so not quite here. Here we have 1 and 7, so we can get the missing number here, right? 1 and 7 block this square. 1 and 7 both block this square, so then the other number must be a 9. I have a feeling that might help us. No, not quite in the way I wanted. Not quite enough. This 6 blocks up here, though, that stops that square from being a 6. We still need a 6 there, and we need a 3 to finish that block there. Okay, this central empty block has got to be the place that's going to give us everything, isn't it? All right, let's just count through and see what's missing, or look and see what's missing from here. We don't yet have 5, 6, and 8. And here we go. Here's an 8 blocking this square and a 5 blocking this square. So we know, in fact, that's got to be the 6. And the 5 and 8 must be in these 2 squares. But that won't affect anything else that we can do just yet. Right, now what's happening in Ooh. Where to look next? Where to look next? Where we are certain. Well, okay, let's think about this. This is 1 and 7. So 1 and 7 are also going to be missing from these rows. 7 like that, 1 like that. But what else do we need for these columns apart from 1 and 7? So we know 1 and 7 we need. We also need 2. So 2 is limited to these two squares. We also need 9. 9 is limited to these two squares. So that's not good enough, is it? What's missing down here, apart from our 1 and 7, we also need a 3, which is limited to these two squares, and a 4, which could go anywhere, so that's no good either. So I'm clearly not looking in the right place here. If I want to make progress, I should be looking somewhere else. Let's look over here. Let's see what's missing from this block. We've got 2 blocking across here, 2 blocking down here, so 2 in those two squares. 2, 3, 6. Alright, okay, let's try it again. 2 in these two squares here. 3 in 3 possible squares. 4 in these 3 squares. 5 in these squares. What else do we need here? 5, 3, and 5, 3, and what? 5, 3, 4. Oh dear. Well, I thought I was going great guns here, and suddenly I'm a bit stuck because I'm surely not looking in the right locations. Now this is where if you have a computer to help you, the computer will be a great advantage because you can highlight numbers and see where they go, and I think that's a nice thing, a useful thing. But now I'm going to do that in my head, but that's going to take me a little while if you hold on a minute. Ah, gotcha. All right, so 5 blocks across here, 5 blocks up here, and 5 blocks down there. I highlighted the digits in my head with the little cells highlighting in blue in my in the back of my mind. 5 goes there. And now we can indeed say 5 blocking down here, up here, and across here. So that is a 5 there, and that leaves us just one empty square. And the empty square is filled with an 8. And now 8 blocks this square, 8 blocks this square, so 8 goes there. Missing numbers are still 4 and 9, and we still don't know which is which. So we still have to come back to those later. But anyway, we have made some progress now. What else do we need to do? This block here we made a little bit of progress doing, so let's see what else we can garner from it. Threes are gotcha. Okay, right, this row here still needs a 3. Do you agree? Thank you. 3 blocks this square here, this 3 blocks this square here, so we're limited to these 2 squares, but we see an intersecting 3 from on high, and so we will place our 3 there. We don't yet have a 6 in this row, but this 6 blocks this square and this 6 blocks this square, so a 6 must fit there, and now we are just one square deficient of a full column here. 1, 2, 3, it's a 4, isn't it, baby? Okay, 4 goes here, 4 blocks down there, 4 is in that square there, 4 blocks here, so 4 appears there, and that's our 9, our last digit there. 9 across this row, 9 across this row, or you could count through and see that that has to be a 9 in that square there. Different ways to find the same answer. Missing number here, I believe to be a 3. Don't yet have a 3, do we? And then here, that will leave us 6 to finish that block. Missing numbers here are 2 and 3. We have an intersecting 3 here now, so 3 goes there, 2 goes there. 2 blocks across here, 2 blocks down there. 2 is there. Missing number here is a 7. Let's stick it in. And we're left with 1s here. We still can't find which is the 1. And the other number is a 4. So we have 4 blocking here. 4 goes there, 1 is there, 1 is there. And 7 I believe to be the last number for this particular grid. Our Guardian hard level, again, not really up to a hard level classification. I would say, I almost said phylum, not quite right there. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and come back for more Sudoku whenever you're in a Sudoku mood. Bye bye.